Hi, this is Blair Cusick. He's been a science teacher at our school for 34 years, I think. Not only is he a science teacher, but he's also a Christian, and he also believes in young earth creation. And the Bible tells us that light was created on the first day. Can you tell us from a scientific point of view why that's necessary?
Right. So when we think of light in the modern sort of sense, we think of light coming from the sun, but light actually comes from other sources. And even if we're not going to argue about the actual dates, even according to the Big Bang theory, when the universe first came into existence, either as a Big Bang or as we believe it as God spoke it into existence, at that moment, at that instant, at zero seconds, there were photons of light. Now, those photons of light have the ability to be light, even though in the early universe, even according to the Big Bang, they were sort of trapped in the density of the mass of the universe. And it wasn't until a while after that that the density of the universe decreased a little bit and allowed, in the period they call the Great Recombination, where photons of light were actually able to be free from the protons around them, and they would give us light as we would understand it. And in the scientific community, we know that as a cosmic background radiation, which we can still measure today. So that faint glow of the original light is not from the sun, but from the original creation.
Oh, interesting. So, what then was taking place on the second day of creation?
So on the second day, if we look at what happens there is, it says that the earth was created. Now, if we were to just think about this, it doesn't make sense. When we think about the order of these events, we have light, we have the earth, we have the sun, we have plants. It doesn't seem like the order that the Bible has listed them out in is feasible. It just doesn't make sense in our sort of modern day thinking. We would think light from the sun would be first, and then we would have the planet Earth would be second, and then the light would shine on the plants, and then we would have the plants. But the Bible lists that out in a different order. So it starts with light, and then it comes with the earth. Now, does this make sense? It doesn't seem to us to make sense that the earth would come before the sun or the solar system. But as it turns out, as we look at the James Webb Telescope and some of the new things that they find these exoplanets or protostars. So a protostar is a star that is not quite formed yet. It will be a star, but it hasn't had enough. It hasn't reached critical mass, in which case it ignites and gives off light. Okay. Now, as that star is forming, at the same time, it is also kicking out material, and that material becomes the planets of that solar system. But those planets are already well into formation, and we have evidence of this through the James Webb Telescope, before the sun or the star actually has enough combustible material to ignite. So if we look at, if we think about a star, the sun isn't really a sun until it gives out light. So in the creation of our solar system, then it would make sense scientifically that the Earth, that mass of stuff that makes up the Earth would have actually come before our sun burst into light. So the Earth was there before the sun. The sun itself was there, but it was not glowing as a sun. So we could easily say that the Earth came before the sun, because the sun isn't really a sun until it's lit up.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so final one then is, how do we get plants before we have the sun?
And this is one of the big things that always leads me to the young Earth, because it just doesn't make sense that we could make the plants first on day 3, and then the sun coming on day 4. And if these are long periods of time, which a lot of people argue, that the days of creation are actually long periods of time, that would mean that you would have a plant, and then you would have the sun coming millions of years later.
Right.
Which doesn't make sense. But as it turns out, also scientifically, as we look at the plant cycles, growth charts, and all of these things, they have dark cycles and light cycles. And for setting up the growth of a plant, the dark cycles are actually more important than the light cycles. So during the dark cycle that's why seeds start underground. During the dark cycle, that's when they set up all of their sort of patterns of hormonal changes and the stuff that causes the plants to shoot up. So if we were to think about what a creator God would do in terms of setting the plants up first, would he have the plants come first in the dark period and then the sun come on and light them up? Or would he have the light first and the plants created during this light period? Now, it makes more sense, obviously, to have the plants being there first in the dark period, set up their cycles, and then light would come in instantly the next day. Now, obviously, if these are long periods of time, that doesn't work, and that's why I believe in the 24-hour days of original creation.
Well, thank you very much for explaining that.